What's going on, everybody? All right, so where are we so far? If you're catching this video randomly on the YouTube channel, you're missing out on exactly what this is, right? If you've done the F&A module, okay, you know exactly where we are, right? You've already seen and done a number of different exercises from, the approach language, when you meet somebody, to the psychological questions that you ask to get somebody in the mindset, to the 4 types of insurances. You've seen that. You've seen the dime analysis. You've seen the budget analysis. You've actually filled in some of your information. You've seen what it is to the whole concept of running the illustration, so on and so forth, taking the application. So where are we right now? Right now, we're at the phase of taking the application. And when you're taking the application, one of the things you want to do really good job is prepping the client for what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next in the next couple of weeks. What you don't want is a client to get buyer's remorse or to think that you're dropping the ball. You don't want that kind of stuff. So, if you're working the simplified issued market, you got no problem. Things get approved either right then and there or a couple of minutes. But if you're working the full underwriting market because you want to bring a quality product to the table, you have to understand it's going to take a little while to get that. It'll take you a little bit to get that. Now, what do I do when I take an application? I want to prep the client. So I'm going to give you the language that I use, okay, whenever I'm getting someone to take an application. Okay, so if this is you learning, this is where you want to practice, drill, rehearse. PDR, practice, drill, rehearse. Learn this verbiage when someone takes the application. Here's what I do, and I'm going to pretend you're the one that's taking the application, and I'm prepping you for it, okay? So I'm going to say, number one, I want to thank you for the opportunity and trust that you've given us in helping you with your insurance and financial savings needs. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going to happen next, okay? Members in my team are going to be reaching out to you. I work with a team. You officially have a team representing you, not just me, okay? When this application gets submitted, okay, you're going to get an application. You're going to get an email. You're going to get an email requesting you to sign. Okay. Right now, all I've done is I've just gathered your information. Later on tonight, I'm going to go in and I'm going to process the application, submit everything, and you're going to get it via email. You're going to open it up. You're going to review it. You're going to sign it. Nothing begins until you sign it. Nothing begins until you sign it. Members in my team will probably be reaching out to you around that time. The individual that I have that reaches out to you from the application standpoint is Howard Rabinowitz. He'll reach out to you. He'll introduce himself to you, whether it's by call, but more than likely it'll be by text message, okay? Letting you know who he is and that there's an application in your inbox, okay? My legal name is Jose Antonio Martinez, not Tony Martinez. I go by Tony because of my middle name. When you see that, just know that that's me. If it asks you for credentials, it might require you to put in your date of birth and the last 4 of your social to be able to go ahead and log in and submit the application. Fair enough? Great. Mr. Client, do you happen to have WhatsApp? You do? Perfect. If you don't, I recommend you download it. Now, other members in my team that you're going to meet is a woman by the name of Sandra Lopez. She handles everything that has to do with underwriting, licensing, so on and so forth, okay? She'll create a group chat inside of WhatsApp, have you in there, myself in there, and Howard in there, as well as herself in there. And once that group chat is created, I want you to know all communication about this application ceases to be from me to you. It'll go right there. The reason we do that is because I want to make sure my team, who's really the specialist that handle that side of the business, they're in the loop of what's going on. If you send me information and then I'm supposed to send it to them, it could take a little bit of time lag. So I'd rather just put you right to the source. Fair enough? Great. Now, underwriting could take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Okay, we're going to shoot our very best to get it done as soon as possible, but it'll take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. What's going to happen is the following. They're going to pull your motor vehicle report to make sure you don't like to, drive behind the wheel with a bottle of whiskey on your lap. They're going to pull your credit bureau. Okay, they want to make sure that your identity is who you are, right? They also want to pull your criminal record to make sure that you don't like to commit crimes that cause police officers to put guns towards you. Okay, they're going to pull your medical records to make sure that there's nothing happening to you medically that could cause for a decline. They're going to pull those records. Okay, now in pulling those records, they might have questions. If they have questions, what they'll do is they'll reach out to Sandra. They'll give her the questions. Sandra will reach out to you via that group chat and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. My advice, my advice to you is when she asks you for something or when Howard asks you for something, try to reply back as fast as you can, because that typically means they're on the phone with an underwriter and they're trying to get your application approved. It's our job to get it approved. And one thing we've learned is that the longer applications stay in the hands of the underwriters, the longer it stays, okay, the more questions they ask and the more they pick and they prod. So when they ask a question, we want to jab back and give them an answer, jab back and give them an answer, because once they have all their questions answered, we want to request an approval. Simple as that. Now, at the current time, they're not requesting a medical. If they do request a medical, I want you to understand something. Sometimes it has nothing to do with what they found in your medical records. It's just a level of parameters and random selection that cause them to request a medical. If they do request a medical, here's what needs to happen. We're going to schedule a medical, preferably early in the morning. Before you go to work, the nurse comes to you, and guess what? This is 100% free. We pay for it, okay? Now, when the nurse comes to you, you need to be fasting. So as of midnight the night before, no more eating. The night before, no more alcohol, okay? Non-tobacco users, make sure you're not around any tobacco users, non-marijuana users, make sure you're not around any type of marijuana. You don't want any of that stuff in your system. If it pops up in your system, there's no way to reverse it. It's there. And anytime we go to another insurance company, that's going to pop up, because they communicate in a portal called the Medical Information Bureau, and that's where everybody posts information. So the day you got to get your medical, you have to be fasting after midnight the night before. When you wake up the morning of, plenty of water. Don't do anything but water. They're going to ask for a urine sample. They're going to ask for a blood sample. They're going to ask you some medical questions. Once they've taken blood, once they've drawn blood and taken some urine, you're free to Krispy Kreme away. Okay. But until then, make sure you try to stay as clean as possible. I want your ratings to be as low as possible. Now, if you're someone that likes to go to the gym frequently and you take supplements, you might need to get off those supplements. And I'll give you an example. A lot of these supplements carry a substance called creatinine, right? Creatine, right? If high levels of creatine show up in your blood system, when they draw blood, it could lead the underwriters to think that you have kidney failure. And if you have kidney failure, that's a bad thing. Now we got dialysis, and they might think it's a lot worse than what it actually is. So if they request a medical and you love to go to the gym and you're taking supplements, you're going to have to get off those supplements for a couple of weeks before we get your medical done. Do you by chance take any kind of supplements? You do. Could you just, for the sake of helping us out, getting this approved as fast as possible, could you get off those supplements while we begin this process of underwriting? Yes? Okay, perfect. Now, once you're approved, and I want you to know something, Sandra's by far one of the best case managers I've ever had the opportunity to work with. She knows this industry better than I do. She typically coaches me on that world. I'm the face. She handles everything back behind the scenes. Now, when you're approved, okay, you're going to get approved one of three ways. Either you get approved exactly how we applied it, which is perfect. That's what we're looking for. You get declined for some reason. They typically won't tell us what it is. You're going to have to send a letter and request what it is. And we would love to know why, because we want to make sure that we could fight it in case it can be fought, or go to another company that doesn't look at that. Or it's going to come back with a different price than how we applied it. Okay. Let me tell you what happens. If it's approved exactly the way it is, within 24 to 48 hours, they'll draw the very first payment. Okay. Sandra will let you know ahead of time that it's going to happen, but that's exactly what it does, because they want to meet their obligation of giving you your coverage. If they decline, they're going to tell me, hey, unfortunately, we can't provide coverage. And then you're going to have to send in a letter to find out why. If it comes back at a different price, I want to look at the price myself. I want to see what the options are. Then I'm going to contact you. We're going to communicate about those numbers, and you're going to give me, you're going to tell me which of the options you want. Typically, there's 2 or 3 different options. You're going to tell me which one of those options it is that you want. And then I'm going to let them know, and they'll go ahead and begin the processing. First payment has to come out automatically immediately after it's approved. All future payments have to come out automatically, but you can control the day of the month that you want it to come out. So if it happens to come out when it first gets approved on a day that's not beneficial to you, and you want to switch that day, we can do it after that's done. Okay. Once they take out the first payment, they'll start printing the policies, getting everything over to us. And either we'll send you an electronic version of the policy. Some of our companies are paperless, right? Or if you wish to have a paper version of it, we'll request a paper version of it and get over your way. You'll receive a policy receipt at some point that you'll have to sign in order to finalize this process. Does that make sense? Or do you happen to have any questions? No? You're good? Okay, perfect. I want you to know my team has been vetted out. They are by far the best individuals for the job. They are much better at this than I am. So I want to make sure when that group chat is created, you know, I know, and they know exactly what's going on the entire time. We're going to try to get this approved for you as fast as we possibly can. But just know we are brokers. If for whatever reason we can't get an approval with this company, which I don't anticipate, we've got many, many other companies to shoot for. Is that fair enough? Sounds good? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have yourself a great day. All right, now pause. You see how I prep them for everything. Now, usually, let me be honest, when I'm having a conversation along the way, I'm stopping and I'm asking them, do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Everything's good. Cool, 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 right? But you want to prep them for what's going to happen. You want to prep them for the team that you have working for you. You want to prep them for the fact that they need to communicate on that group chat. You know, you want to prep them for that they're better than what you do. You want to prep, you want to edify your back office team as much as you can. Okay, you don't want them to feel like they have to come to you in order to get answers. They can come directly to them no matter what they can, because you're a field agent. You want to be on the field doing, right? Power couples, maybe one of you is a field agent, one of you is a back office type person, right? Builders, maybe you want to bring someone, you know, in from your organization to handle that admin side, and then, you know, they get some type of compensation for it. All I'm simply saying is, as you grow, you're going to want to have a team that helps you grow as well too. Hopefully this helps. And for you personally, during your personal analysis, this explanation I just gave you is the process that would happen next once we determine which is the right plan for you. Have a good one. Be blessed. Bye-bye.